wiretap used against it by the National Security Agency under the secret surveillance program established by President Bush after September 11th.
Yes, Judge Walker, it's his court where the AT&T case is in now, and he's clearly been unsympathetic to the government's attempts to squash this case, and that's why they went secretly to Congress to squash the case, because they're really afraid of an open court hearing. They don't want an open court hearing. And Judge Walker did a fine ruling basically arguing that the president had no authority to override FISA. And that's one of 3 rulings that have happened against the president and against the government. The problem, of course, is that Walker's ruling has no practical effect because the case he was ruling on, the Al Haramain case, cannot go forward because the only piece of evidence they have has been declared a state secret by the government. That's their convenient way of getting rid of evidence, is declare it a state secret, so therefore it's out of the court. Court can't handle it.
His decision being particularly significant because all the lawsuits involving the telephone companies that took part in the NSA program have been consolidated and are being heard in his case, including the one you're involved with, right, Mark Klein?
That's right. The AT&T case is in his court right now, just waiting the approval to go forward. We're waiting for the Ninth Circuit to give the green light to go forward with the case.
So what does this mean now for you? What does this legislation, if passed by the Senate, mean for that lawsuit?
Well, this legislation will direct the court to dismiss all the cases against AT&T and other companies if they can just show they have a piece of paper showing that they got an order from the president to do this. It's, I call it the Nuremberg defense. We were just following orders. The judge won't be able to rule on whether the order was legal. He can only rule on whether they got this piece of paper. It's a ridiculous ruling, an attempt by the Congress to gag the judge and prevent him from ruling on the legality of the order. And the judge has to simply just determine that their paperwork is in order. So everybody knows if this bill passes, the judge will be forced to dismiss the cases.
And what will this mean in terms of, for example, the AT&T case and in terms of you coming forward as a whistleblower?
Well, I assume the case will just get dismissed and it'll never happen. I'll never get called. There'll never be any hearings. It'll die and you'll never find out what they did. And that was the point of having this lawsuit. It wasn't about getting money out of the companies. I wouldn't get anything, by the way. I'm just a witness. I'm not a party to this lawsuit. And it was about finding out what happened. And that's why they want to kill the lawsuit.
Well, I want to thank you very much, Mark Klein, for joining us, former technician at AT&T for over 22 years, witness in a lawsuit filed against AT&T by the Electronic Frontier Foundation, which alleges AT&T illegally gave the NSA access to its networks. The Senate is expected to vote on the FISA legislation on Tuesday. It would grant retroactive immunity to the phone companies. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. We'll be back in a minute.